Thank you for having me, Wasbir.
Welcome, always a pleasure. You see, there are a lot of developments taking place in Tripura. You have remained absolutely steadfast in your demand for the Tiprasa people. You want maximum autonomy for them. You want their all-round progress, whether it is in economic field, whether it is in the social field, whether it is the educational front. What is the status now? Yesterday, you had a very long, not yesterday, I would say, before dawn today, it was post midnight, past midnight, that you had a talk with the NEDA convener, Dr. HIMANTA Sharma. What was the talks all about?
No, it was regarding the appointment of the interlocutor.
Right.
And along with me, my president, Vijay Kumar Rankhol, Brishiketu Debbarma, leader of the opposition, Animesh Debbarma, Vishwajit Koloy, Mewar Kumar Jamatia. They were all present.
Right.
We had a very long discussion. And we have pointed it out to him that there was a commitment given to us by the Home Minister of India, and we would like that commitment to be honored. He has assured us that he will look into the matter and ensure that the process is initiated.
Right. Interlocutor will definitely be appointed. The Union Home Minister has personally spoken to you. It has been a few days since the deadline expired.
He spoke to Himanta Biswa Sarma as well, so that he could assure us that the matter is being taken seriously at the highest level.
Absolutely, the matter of appointing an interlocutor is taken seriously. Now, what about you? What are your expectations? See, you will have a negotiations. You will make your point of view, which is already to some extent in the public domain. But what are your expectations? Are you hopeful of being able to bring about, give the rights, due rights to the Tiprasa people?
See, one thing is very clear in life, Wasbir, that credibility is very important. And when you go for talks, one should go with an open mind. One should listen to the other side. But one should also not forget why the people put us here in the first place. Many political parties, not all, but many, have at some point said something before the elections and done something after the elections. I was always very sure and very clear that we have to give something. Kuch na kuch to apne logo ko dena padega. Right. And it has to be through the government of India, and it has to be a constitutional solution. So when we talk with the government of India, we will keep an open mind, but we will also not dilute our positions on how the next generation of Tiprasas can be protected.
Now, at the end of the day, there will be after the talks, there will be an agreement signed. Obviously, you will expect financial autonomy. Unless there is direct funding, it is very difficult because the development projects have to come from the grassroots level. People sitting in Agartala or people sitting in Delhi may not know what the rural people or the rural tribal people in Tripura really need. So it has to be a grassroots level, bottoms up approach. Therefore, do you think financial autonomy is also important?
See, not only financial, there has to be political empowerment. There has to be social empowerment. Land is the most important thing. The land needs to be protected. There are encroaches on our land. We need to have rights so that we can protect our land. Money will come once we remain united, because eventually even New Delhi appreciates and understands the power of Hansa, unity. But it is very important that we remain clear in our mind why we are here in the first place.
Right.
I'll give you an anecdote. It may not be connected with this, but I will tell you the problem. And I've said this before as well. I was in Calcutta a few months ago in a friend's house. Very well-to-do family, very well-educated. And there was some work happening in his house. I was there as well. Around 5:30, some carpenters came. They said, "Saab, mera kaam ho gaya hai, main ghar ja raha hu." And my friend, he took out 5,000 rupees and he gave it to the carpenter and he said, "Jao maza karke aaye." after the carpenter left, I asked my friend, he said, why did you say, मजा करो, वो तो
Yeah.
दारू वारू पी लेगा. Why didn't you give that 5,000 rupees for his children's education? And you know what my friend said, very well educated in Calcutta. He said, अगर इसका बेटा पढ़ लेगा तो हमें भविष्य में, फ्यूचर में कारपेंटर कहाँ से मिलेगा? Same problem. There are many people who do not want the indigenous Tiprasas to come up, because kal you will not get cheap labor.
True.
So we have to be very clear.
No, that is
The next generation has to be empowered through education, through finance, politically within the Constitution of India, land, and then only can we come up as a society.
See, don't you think in that case, the Tiprasa leaders before the emergence of Tipra Motha, Tiprasa leaders were always there. They were in the state assembly. There was an accord signed with the government of India. Do you think they have also, to a great extent, failed their own people over the years?
We have all failed the people. We've all failed the people, and the biggest problem is we don't admit it. And the time has come to change that. Me being in Congress all these years, what was my achievement? There was no achievement. What we have done with the brew settlement, then coming to power at TTA-ADC, now raising the voice in the assembly, and hopefully if the government of India agrees to our demands, then the accord, at least you would have achieved something. So it is a collective failure of many, and we have to take responsibility for the
You have to
failure.
admit and take responsibility
And
and
we
go
have-
forward.
If you do not admit that you have made a mistake, how can you move ahead? You cannot stand in the pyramid of lies. So I do believe that if we have to progress in life, we have to take responsibility, and you have to lead from the front.
See, you sound absolutely philosophical at times. Why is that? Because you are not a conventional politician.
I'm not a politician, and I'm very happy to openly say it in your TV channel. I'm not a politician. And whoever said that only a politician can bring change in society, politician is a cog in a wheel. There are many elements. So I wear different hats. But the most important thing is that whatever I do it from my heart, and I'm sincere about it. And I think that's why the people have also showed enough love back to me.
Where is this philosophical trait in you coming from?
I think it comes from the various hours I've spent in the library, the books, me meeting people from different parts of the society. When I meet you, I learn something. When I meet the people behind the camera, I learn something. When I go to a village, when I meet an old lady who has probably not had the meal, but it packed me something so that I can eat something on my way ahead. You learn a lot. I've learned from my friends in Shillong who are not necessarily from aristocratic families.
Right.
So you learn, and philosophy only, your outlook to life only improves when you remain humble and
Now-
you keep your ears open.
Now, in the last election, just concluded elections, you were seen touring from one place to another. I mean, absolutely hectic trips that you made. What did you learn? Because people were touching you. We saw people touching you, people, trying to touch
Hugging
you,
me,
hugging
yeah.
you. So these are people whom you may have met for the first time in your life. So what lesson have you learned from this campaign? Because this is the first major election campaign that you yourself led.
I'll tell you one thing. This entire my biggest love of my life was Peggy Martin after my father. And I had one regret in my life, Wasbir. When my father passed away, I never told him how much I loved him. And before I could say that, he was no longer alive. When Peggy Martin, she was my governor, she was 91 years old. I looked after her in her last years, and I told her every day how much I loved her. I didn't have that regret when she went away.
That satisfaction you got.
The people, it is better to tell people how much you love them than regret never having told it before it's too late. So now I know my health is not the best. And I also realized that it is very important. I spoke to my mother a couple of days ago, and I called her up and I said, Mani, I've not told you this, but I really love you. It is very important now to tell your loved ones how much you how much they mean to you. So now I do it. I don't have a wall. I don't have a pretension. Uh, if I see a old lady or if I see a young man, he wants to hug me, I will go and hug them. If they want to kiss me, I'll reciprocate as well. I think प्यार देने से कोई छोटा नहीं बनता, and it is very important. And I feel happy at the end of the day that I think it is genuine.
Right.
And I think that is where I've stopped becoming a leader. I've become more of a person who wants to give more.
Your nearest Canara Bank branch.
সকলো মাৰি কৰিলো মঞ্চ কিন্তু নাপালো পাৰফেক্ট ক্ৰাঞ্চ
পারফেক্ট ক্রাঞ্চ ই হল নতুন সানফিস্ট মারি লাইট নতুন মসমসিয়া সানফিস্ট মারি লাইটত আছে বাছনি কৰা ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস তেন্তে আপুনি বাৰু পালে নাই আপোনাৰ পারফেক্ট ক্রাঞ্চ बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाच गाओ मस्ती में पूरा धमाल है एक्वालैंड सबसे कमाल एक्वालैंड
মায়ে নিজ হাতেৰে মঠি উলিওৱা ঘিৰ দৰে সুস্বাদু আৰু স্বাস্থ্যসন্মত পতঞ্জলি গাই গৰুৰ দেশী ঘি খাওক নিজৰ পৰিয়ালক ভেজালকৰণৰ বিহৰ পৰা ৰক্ষা কৰক
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
As I started the interview by saying that you have been steadfast in what you have been saying even before the elections and even till the time we are talking. Now the point is, suppose the accord is signed. Your stand earlier was that we are open to an alliance with anybody who gives us in writing that they are going to concede our core demands for the Tipra people. Nobody gave you in writing, so obviously you stuck to your demands. You went alone in your debut election. You won 13 seats, which is a record. Now the point is, suppose now it is the BJP government which is taking the initiative, in trying to bring about some kind of a solution to your demand, to concede your major demands. Now, after an accord is signed, if the solution is acceptable and honorable, acceptable to Tipra Motha, then will Tipra Motha join the government or support it from outside or be with the government? What are you thinking?
My personal view is that once the accord is signed, we should still wait and watch. One should never be in a hurry. It is very important to, you can always extend support, but till the accord is not signed, one should be in the opposition. And even after the accord is signed, we should wait and watch how the accord is implemented. And there is no hurry for us to come to power.
But once an accord is signed, there should not be any problem with the Tipra Motha working together with the BJP government in Tripura.
We still
for
don't
the
have,
development of the.
Even today, Wasbir, if a good proposal comes from the government, we will extend our support. And where we feel that the government is making a mistake, we will oppose the government. The idea is that we are a movement, and the movement should never have enemies. A movement should always seek for alliances so that the movement achieves the end to a mean. So anyone, even if today the Congress comes up and asks us for a extend support on a legitimate issue, we should talk to them. But the point is, I personally feel that it is not important for us to come to power and become ministers. It is more important for us to extend support wherever the government needs support, or even the opposition, and play a role which actually brings in a big change in society. And one day, if we can come to power on our own, definitely we should sit in the government.
Now that you're talking about the opposition, a couple of days ago, in the Tipra assembly, all your MLAs
Yes.
started speaking in Kokborok.
Why not?
Much to the discomfort or discomfiture of the rest of the people who don't understand the language. And your MLA said, why should we bother? Because Kokborok is a state language. So tell me something about that.
Kokborok Kaugru is largely spoken by the indigenous people. It is very sad that the assembly did not even have an interpreter. We were expected to speak in a language which would suit a few, but we were not, nobody expected the indigenous people to speak in their mother tongue. I'm very happy. In fact, I told my MLAs that you will go and speak as Tiprasas, feel proud, and don't be ashamed and don't take a step backwards. I'm very happy that we spoke in Kokborok. I'm very happy that we raised the demand of the interpreter and the script, Kokborok script. And
now the Kokborok script is in Bengali, right?
right, so we would
No,
like
you
it to
want
be in
it in
Roman.
Roman.
We would like it to be in Roman.
Okay.
And I'm very happy that this was raised. The CBSE exams was raised, and I'm very happy that our MLAs spoke. You know, there was a perception that अरे tribal है, चुप बैठेगा. 2023 में तिपरा मोथा का ट्राइबल चुप नहीं बैठेगा. वो अपना अधिकार के बारे, अपने लोगों के अधिकार के बारे बात करेगा. I'm very happy and I'm very proud, and you'll see in the coming months that the interpreter will be appointed. More, not only in the assembly, there should be announcement in the Agartala airport in Kokborok. It is a state language. Sub-dialects should be given importance. Kaubru should be given importance. And the most important thing is we have to assert our identity. After all, it is our state. After all, we are not asking for something which is abnormal. And just because nobody has asked before us does not mean that we will not ask now.
So आपका कहना है कि ये सिंबॉलिक स्टेप नहीं है, आने वाले दिनों में भी आपका एमएलए जो है तो असेंबली में ही कोकबरक में ही बात करेगा. Are you saying that?
क्यों नहीं बात करेगा? और एक टाइम ऐसा भी आएगा अगर मैं आ गया ना, मैं भी कोकबरक में बात करूंगा, क्योंकि one should feel proud. You know, we respect all languages. Hindi ho, English ho, Bengali ho. Our language should also be respected. And देखो, हमने ये डिमांड किया, अब एक दो इंटरप्रेटर्स आएंगे, 2 और तिपरासा लोगों को नौकरी भी मिल जाएगा असेंबली में as interpreters. Why not?
Absolutely. And finally, after, tell me something about the inside story. After the Tipra Motha won 13 seats, did you get overtures from any political party in Tripura that join us, हम लोग कुछ करते हैं?
You always get overtures, but the fact is, God has given us everything, Wasbir, especially me. House, decent amount of money, in fact, a palace. But one thing that you have to earn in life is your name. That you cannot get it from your mother and father. You cannot get it from your grandfather.
Absolutely.
नाम खुद कमाना पड़ता है.
I agree with you.
So I've seen many of these political sons, soft boys, as I call them. They live in the shadow of their mother, father. तू जानता मेरा बाप कौन है? वो सब. I want to earn a good name, and today that you're even interviewing me means that I've at least achieved something on my own.
Absolutely.
And this is my message to all young aspiring politicians, people who come from political families. You want to earn a good name, you have to do it yourself. You cannot do it by living in the shadow of your parents. So when these overtures come, I always remind myself, do you want to be a sellout or do you want to be loved by your people? That love and affection has no price tag. So I think I would rather live in the hearts of the people than in the wallets of a few powerhouses.
Now, I'll not take much of your time. Now, when the talk starts, when the interlocutor is appointed and the dialogue begins, are you going to attend the dialogue yourself? Or
I will attend myself.
You will attend. You will attend it. You will lead the Tipra.
I will lead it myself.
Right from day one.
I've studied constitutional law. I've got many friends who I understand law. I've spoken at Harvard University. I've spoken at Oxford. I've spoken in the British Parliament.
Mhm.
So I'm not a person who's illiterate. I do know my law. I do know our rights. So I will lead the delegation, but I will also take help from all sections of society, including Bengalis, including eminent lawyers, so that we come out with a proper
Absolutely.
accord, which will be long term, long lasting, and not just a political makeup.
Finally, what thoughts are crossing your mind? Are you really hopeful? What are you going to go back and tell the Tiprasa people?
Well, for beginning, I'm not going to go for a hunger strike now because the Honorable Home Minister was concerned about my health. He called up, he inquired about my health, and then the NEDA convener also said that we are looking into the matter. Please do not take any step. So I'm thankful for them at least doing that. I'm also thankful to many of my friends from my former party, Congress, who called up and expressed their concern about my health. So I will now wait and watch. I'll see what statement they issue. And if it is to the satisfaction of my people, I will be constructive.
Absolutely.
And then we will see the road ahead. But the fact is, I'm not going to take a step backwards.
Absolutely.
I'm here to fight for our people, and I'm here to have a good fight and to have a constructive effort so that the Tiprasa next generation can be proud of the Bubagra and proud of our community. That's what I want.
Absolutely. As candid as ever, Mr. Pradyot
Always a
Debbarma.
pleasure, Wasbir.
Thank you
Always a
very
pleasure.
much.
Always a pleasure.
দেশৰ প্ৰতিখন ঘৰেই মোৰ পৰিয়াল আৰু মোৰ প্ৰতিজ্ঞা হ'ল প্ৰতিখন ঘৰলৈ 100% বিশুদ্ধ সামগ্ৰী যোগান ধৰাটো পতঞ্জলি গৰুৰ ঘি কচ্চি ঘানি সৰিয়হৰ তেল মছলা কেশৰ আটা ডালি তথা চাউল আদি সকলো সামগ্ৰী পতঞ্জলিৰে ঘৰলৈ আনিব নিজৰ মৰমৰ শিশুটো আৰু পৰিয়ালক ভেজালকৰণৰ বিহৰ পৰা ৰক্ষা কৰক
আৰু ভাবি চিন্তি আদৰি লওক এক হেলদিয়াৰ চইচক ফাইবাৰৰ গুণেৰে ভৰপূৰ ব্ৰিটানিয়া নিউট্ৰি চইচ ডাইজেষ্টিভ হেলদিয়াৰ হৈ ৰোৱাৰ চইচ এতিয়া আপোনাৰ হাতত আছে এতিয়া 20 টকাত
विवेल कूल मिंट रखे स्किन को सॉफ्ट और आपको कूल अब पाइए 4 विवेल साबुन सिर्फ 96 रुपए में
Benefit of a short leg field. Jolly good.
এয়া হ'ল বিদেশী আনন্দ এয়া হ'ল দেশী আনন্দ টেষ্টত 50% দেশী মাখন 50% বিদেশী বনৌষধি ব্ৰিটানিয়া 50-50 মাস্কা চেস্কা
आओ यहाँ बार-बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में पूरा धमाल है एकोलैंड सबसे कमाल एकोलैंड
হাৰ্ট কোলেষ্ট্ৰল মেদবহুলতা আৰু মধুমেহ ৰোগীৰ বাবে সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ হৈছে পতঞ্জলি ফিজিক্যালি ৰিফাইন্ড ৰাইচ ব্ৰেন অইল আৰু কচ্চি ঘানি বিশুদ্ধ সৰিয়হ তেল
बत्तीस सिग्नेचर उनका पास है 31 इज द मैजिक नंबर
नॉर्थ ईस्ट के 8 राज्यों की विशेष खबरें दिन भर की खबरों का पूरा अपडेट देखिए खबरों का प्राइम शो
नमस्कार समाचार नॉर्थ में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता स्टूडियो में मैं हूं रमेश
मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान
मैं रश्मि गुयाशर
समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे
बत्तीस सिग्नेचर उनका पास है 31 इज द मैजिक नंबर
नॉर्थ ईस्ट के 8 राज्यों की विशेष खबरें दिन भर की खबरों का पूरा अपडेट देखिए खबरों का प्राइम शो।
नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता, स्टूडियो में मैं हूं
रविंद्र चौहान।
मैं रश्मि भुयाशर।
समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime every day at 7 p.m.
बत्तीस सिग्नेचर उनका पास है, 31 इज द मैजिक नंबर।
नॉर्थ ईस्ट के 8 राज्यों की विशेष खबरें, दिन भर की खबरों का पूरा अपडेट।
News
After the talks, there will be an agreement signed. Obviously, you will expect financial autonomy. Unless there is direct funding, it is very difficult because the development projects have to come from the grassroots level. People sitting in Agartala or people sitting in Delhi may not know what the rural people or the rural tribal people in Tripura really need. So it has to be a grassroots level, bottoms up approach. Therefore, do you think financial autonomy is also important?
See, not only financial, there has to be political empowerment, there has to be social empowerment, a land.
You sound absolutely philosophical at times. Why is that? Because you are not a conventional politician.
I'm not a politician. And I'm very happy to openly say it in your TV channel. I'm not a politician.